Last time on Square Roots, we have fun with fashion to slip into Twin Blades camp, only to find that our long-lost sister has gone full Daredevil, because she's blind now.
Hello and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. I'm Matthew Van Zant, joined as always by John Twin Blade Brandon?
More like twin butts.
Yeah! Wait, what?
I don't know.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And we are once again missing our good friend and normal host, Jim Banks, this week. Guys, where's Jim this time?
Well, he finally showered and de-stankified himself.
Mm-hmm.
But it washed him down the drain.
Oh, no.
It washed him down the drain.
And now he's lost at sea.
He's having adventures in the sewers and or ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine he'll have a tale to tell when he gets back.
I hope so.
Yeah, we didn't mention before that the reason that he stank so much was that he was afraid to shower because he is so small. He even put one of those hair guard things over his drain, but he still managed to slip through. And perhaps we were a little harsh in requiring someone who is approximately the size of an ant to shower himself.
Do you ever see the show The Littles when you were a kid? Do you remember that?
I remember the name, but I thought it was like books.
It was like an anime show that was on CBS's morning.
Was it like a knockoff Borrowers?
They were just teeny tiny. I don't know. I haven't seen the Borrowers, but yeah.
Hey guys, remember when Studio Ghibli did a knockoff The Borrowers? Yo.
No.
Because it was official license, but it was not good.
Oh.
It's called The Secret World of Arrietty.
And of course, our favorite person had a birthday yesterday, Kaylee
That's
Banks.
right. Happy birthday, Kaylee Banks.
Vanessa, when I saw that you had posted that on Facebook and it like clicked for me, I almost died. Gales of laughter. It was hilarious.
You see, the joke is that he is a twin. Jim Banks is a twin. Kaylee is his sister. So we were wishing his sister the happy birthday and not our co-host.
And that's definitely not why Jim's not here today.
He's not resentfully sulking somewhere because we wished Kaylee and not him a happy birthday.
Well, maybe.
Do you all feel like leveling up?
Oh, yeah.
Is that something that we still do on this show? I thought we didn't do that anymore.
Let's bring it back.
Well, yeah,
Let's
it's
revive.
retro.
Now that Jim's gone, we can finally level up again.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, before we do that, should I mention something important?
How important is it?
Well, it's about how this is a classic RPG podcast where we play classic RPGs one chunkarino at a time.
Oh. Like a book club, but for RPGs.
Yeah, like a Let's Play, but for listening.
Ooh.
Like a video game for your mind.
All right, guys, why don't we level up? Vanessa.
Yeah.
How did you level up?
I painted my own pottery at a paint-your-own-pottery place. Paint-your-own-pottery places are all over America. It's the hot, not-quite-new trend that's sweeping the nation. It's a great place to go if you need a dish or cup or tchotchke.
Best served cold?
Mm-hmm. And you want to customize it with whatever you want. I mean, you could write all kinds of curse words on it if you wanted to.
Did you paint the man from that show that you love, who voices those characters in the game you love that looks like a creepy witch?
Steve Valentine?
Yeah.
That's an amazing idea. I am going to, next time I go, I'm going to make a custom piece of Steve Valentine crockery.
Please do.
It's going to be a tribute to my favorite Steve Valentine show, A State of Panic.
Could you also do a Carth Onassi one?
I'll do a Cartho Nasty one.
Yes, please.
Anyway, it was a good time. It was the day before Father's Day, and my favorite moment was this little girl was painting a something for her dad, and her father was there, and he said to her, "Oh, do you want to write 'I love Papa' on it?" And she goes, "No." He said, "Oh, do you want to put like a heart on it for me?" And she goes, "No." And I was like, "Stop trying to force it, bro. If it happens, it will happen."
Hey, she doesn't love you. Get over it.
Yeah. This is the problem with America. Anyway, that's what I did. It was pretty good fun. Grab some of your friends and go paint your own pottery. Why not?
When this episode comes out, could you post pictures of your pottery?
I sure will. My pretty pottery.
And also, Vanessa still owes us some, she doesn't owe us anything, but some Sims Square Roots house.
Right, I forgot. I've been so into playing RPGs a chunker at a time. I just have not touched The Sims.
I just want to see Sim Johnny and Sim Matthew get into fights.
I think it would be beautiful.
I don't know why you think we fight so much, John. We don't disagree on anything other than the fact that Canada isn't free.
Yes, you guys were in quite the debate yesterday about Canada. Oh, and my other level up, I wrote an amazing joke. Here it goes.
Let's hear it.
John.
Yes.
What do you call a Canadian who's crazy about money?
Loony.
Don't step on the punchline of my amazing joke that I wrote.
I don't know. What do you call a Canadian?
No, I'm starting over so we can cut Matt out.
Okay.
I'm editing, so
Matt's
good
editing.
luck with that.
John, I mean, Matt, I told you my joke last night. Ugh, he stole it. Always stealing my glory. All my hard work. John, what do you call a Canadian who's crazy about money?
I don't know. What do you call a Canadian who's crazy about money?
A lunatic.
Oh.
That seems really dismissive of mental health issues, Vanessa.
John, what do you call a Canadian who's really crazy about money?
I don't know. What do you call a Canadian who's really crazy about money?
A
Greedy.
lunatic.
Oh,
God.
Okay, let's stop right here.
Burn it all down. Start over.
John.
Mm-hmm.
How did you level up?
How did I level up?
That's what I'm asking.
Well, I kind of broke my no games policy thing because of a financial windfall that I didn't think I would get. So I got some extra cash this week. And I spent $70 on 2 new games.
Oh, what did you buy?
One is called Puyo Puyo Tetris for the Nintendo Switch.
You like it very much.
And the other is called Forza Horizon 3 for the Xbox One, but I bought it for the PC.
Forza Horizon 3, is that related to Horizon Zero Dawn?
It is not. That is a game by Sony.
Oh,
This is a
that's true.
driving game, and it's like by the people who made Project Gotham Racing and Metropolis Street Racer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the crossover between people who really like car games and the people who really like this podcast is about 1%. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, I am not part of that crossover.
Yeah, I often forget that you're such a big car nerd.
Yep. It's gorgeous so far. I haven't had a ton of time to play it. But it looks amazing. I just wish that every time they make a game where it's like an open world drivey game, they like populate it with the most awful rich assholes. Like, I don't want to know about this car culture where gorgeous billionaires gather around racing their cars and have like cool parties on rooftops and stuff. And these games really think like, oh man, you are so going to love the kind of people that go to these billionaire car parties. And it's like, I really want to skip all of it. But every single driving game that's like an open world driving game has this wraparound. Like no one's ever questioned or looked at the other ones and said, hey, these are actually awful and make you want to hate the people involved in this game. So maybe we should try something else.
Y'all, I legitimately do not like cars. I do not like to drive my car. I think that cars are really ugly. Like, whenever I see a pretty street and there are just cars parked along it, I'm really upset by them. I don't like to go into a parking lot. I don't like to be around cars. They're noisy, they're smelly, they're bad. Never in my life have I been excited about a particular automobile. I don't like them.
Well, 2 of my friends asked me to get Puyo Puyo Tetris because they want to play it with me. Both of who have the initials RJ. A lot of the time.
Interesting.
Now, I don't think either of these RJs listen to this podcast, so I'm going to be safe to say this. But if one or both of them listen, I'll still play it with you. But I hate this game. This game is garbage, and I wasted $35. Ugh, it's like a bad download game, and it is terrible. And it squishes Puyo Puyo and Tetris together, and I don't really like that style of puzzler to begin with because I'm really bad at them because I have slow reflexes, but like playing the single player. Yeah?
What is a Puyo Puyo?
What's a Puyo Puyo?
I know it's been it's the kind of globby color match game that's been like stolen by every cell phone game ever.
Oh, like a Candy Crush or something.
Yeah, it's like you spit out these pieces that are, they're falling like Tetris blocks and you have to match colors. And they if you get 4 globs touching each other, they disappear, and there's some other rules. And like Tetris combined with it, it seems like the colors sometimes matter and sometimes don't, but then there's like heavy Tetris pieces that squish the Puyos. But either way, like I'm playing single player and the computer destroys me in like 2 minutes, and then it's like the weird anime characters overlaid just like fall and like start complaining. And it's just like, ugh, I hate this game. I hate it.
What's a Puyo Puyo?
It's the globby color matching game.
But yeah, is it like a fish or something?
No, it's like a jelly bean. It's like a Dragon Quest slime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it from something, or is it just what it is?
It's from the game Puyo Puyo.
What's that game
It's
about?
like a Sega game, and it's just a puzzle game. It's just like a matchy, blobby things. But the Puyo Puyos themselves look like slimes for Dragon Quest.
You look like a slime from Dragon Quest.
Oh, I do. All right, Matthew, how did you level up?
I leveled up in, guys, so many different ways. Hang on, let me think, though. I am playing 2 games right now, and I will briefly talk about both. Game 1, I started playing Persona 5 again. I love that game. I'm like 110 hours into it. Why is that game so good?
It's a good game.
More like, hey, Vanessa.
Yeah.
More like Mouse-sona. Am I right? You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Mousy. The Mouse-sona.
A mousy?
Mouse-sona.
Like the comic book? Moss?
No. Like Redwall.
Except without the weird racism.
Speciesism,
Sorry,
John.
Speciesism.
Yeah, Redwall be all fuck foxes.
Yeah.
And badgers and all the other bad ones.
No, not badgers.
What was
vermin? Any sort of vermin are evil.
I stopped reading it. I think we've talked about it on this podcast before, but the one where they they found a lost rat or something and it became their friend and they raised it and it turned evil was the worst book I've ever read.
I don't remember that one. I read maybe the first 20 or so though when I was a teenager, and I loved that series, but I have actually as an adult tried to go back and like reread some of them, and it's just too YA. Like it's very much written for children.
The one I remember the most is the one about like a lady mouse and she had a gull whacker. It was a rope with a knot at the end of it, and she used it to thunk seagulls in the head.
I think I remember that one. That might have been, no, it wasn't Mossflower. Maybe it was Mossflower.
Maybe it was.
I like. And later on, they started branching out. You had like the hares became the protagonists and stuff. It wasn't always field mouse. But anyway, okay, we got way off topic. Though there is a Redwall game coming out. There's like a pre-game beta thing on Steam that I keep thinking, like, maybe that'll come to something that I can play it on.
What's up with it? Is it like a MMO?
I'm not 100% sure. No, I don't think it's an MMO. It's episodic. You Google that. I'm going to talk about Persona.
I won't Google anything just because you tell me to. I'm not your Googler.
Persona'd up my Personas. I'm almost at the end of the game. I'm on the maybe last or second to last palace.
What's it like?
It is a cruise ship. And I'm not sure if there's something after that.
There
so we'll
is.
see.
Spoilers.
Okay. Well, that's good. I've been maxing out my relationships. I'm in a weird spot now where I'm trying to max out these, because I built all these relationships up with all the girls, but then I finally had to pick someone, so I maxed out Makoto, so she's my girlfriend now. Mm-hmm. But as I get towards maxing out the other ones, they start to like hint around about like, hey, and I have to be like, nah.
Yeah, I do like that you can like max out your relationship with women without being romantically involved with them. Like, you have the option of being like, nope, not into you.
I really like Hifume Toga, the shogi player, and like, what happens if I start dating her too?
I don't know.
I kind of want to find out.
Oh.
I kind of felt backed into a corner by Makoto, and then the next time I went out, like, we had a conversation of like, we should date. And because it's Makoto, she's like she's the smart one. So she's like, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but the next time I go out with her, she's like, I love you. And I was like, what the fuck?
Whoa. That is a fast elevation, but that's how teenagers are sometimes.
That's true. But I do like Hifume. I'm also playing a game called Final Fantasy VI for reasons that everybody on the show knows because we've talked about it. We're playing that after Fable, and I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way in. And I'm playing it on iOS, and it's fun. And the controls are garbage, and that's the only downside. But otherwise, it's good. It's a good game.
How did the redesigned monsters look? I know the sprite art's kind of not great, but how
it's just it looks the same to me, just cleaned up. Like, the monsters look great.
Okay.
Yeah, they just like smooth the lines of them.
And you get the what's his name?
Which one?
The portraits. You get the portraits by
Amano.
Amano, thank you.
Yeah.
You get the portraits by Amano, which are gorgeous, and I love it. The sprites for the characters on screen do look a little goofy, and that's just kind of like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think it looks nice. I like the way it looks.
I kind of wish they had an option of just switching between both. Like, I think that would, like, solve people, almost, like, at least 90% of people's problems with the games if you just had a toggle between original look and new look, but they will not do that.
No. And the other big problem is that the virtual analog stick is trash.
Oh,
it is horrible trash, and there are no good options to do anything with it, so you're just kind of stuck with this piece of shit D-pad. But you can make it work, which, you know, that's where I'm at. And I had one other quick thing I'll bring up, which is that I learned last night that Canada is still a province of England.
It's part of the Commonwealth, yes, with the Queen being the head of state.
John,
yeah,
did you know that the Queen of England, an entirely separate country from your country, can fire your president and dissolve your Congress?
No, well, Parliament.
That's insane.
That's actually a good thing, though. It's basically the reason that people are keeping it is because it's a check and balance. That you don't want to give the prime minister total power. I think a lot of other countries that do have parliamentary system have a president as well as a prime minister, which is sort of the same idea and is more democratic. So maybe we should switch to that eventually because the monarchy is kind of a waste of money. But I don't know, people like it. And
I would be okay if the United States had some like objective person who could fire our president.
Like a tyrant?
Regardless, I learned this last night and spent an hour sending John freedom isn't free bald eagle memes, and it was the best hour of my life. I laughed the whole time. Partially because I Googled bald eagle America memes, and that is a treasure trove of stupid bullshit.
One time I saw a bald eagle in real life, and it was in the parking lot, and it was, I think I was sending pictures of it to the bad meme group. This is before the podcast started. And it was just waddling around like a penguin picking up garbage. And it was amazing. It was huge too.
Yeah, they're huge. But the funny thing about bald eagles is they don't sound like what you think they sound like. They sound ridiculous, but anytime you see them in movies, you hear like a falcon cry because bald eagles sound ridiculous. They squawk or something. It's hilarious. But yeah, they're gigantic. We've got some at the zoo around here. All right. Well, we've talked long enough about our stupid lives. Let's talk about our fake stupid lives in the quest log.
Yay!
I liked the suggested name for the quest log for the next series.
What?
Quest Mog.
I like it.
I think that's great.
Mogster's coming back. I name all of the people in Final Fantasy VI just with their generic names because I like to pretend like that's just their names.
Mm-hmm.
I think naming your characters in video games is dumb.
I love it.
But, it's really dumb when you're playing something like Persona 5 and everything's voice acted and then the text says, Vendor says this, or Vendor needs to do this, and then the people say, he needs to do this, or our leader needs to do this.
Yeah, they never call your character by their name.
What is the point of having, I would rather just have the guy be voice acted and be a character.
You know, in Fallout 4, there was one character who would say the name that you chose. And he didn't have, like, every name possible in his repertoire, but he had a pretty extensive list of names that he would call you by.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it was kind of a great surprise for, like, not knowing that. And you choose your character name, and then this robot comes and starts calling you that, and I'm like, what the heck?
That game that I bought there, Forza Horizon 3, does that as well. Where if you put in your name and it's on that list, it'll say that name.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing that. My brother plays a lot of, sports games, and he always uses the name Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, and they'll pick that one up. It's always pretty funny to hear Ben, last name withheld.
I think eventually when voice compilation becomes a little bit better, they'll be able to have voice actors record a bunch of syllables and make just about any name without it sounding like a robot.
Eventually. And then we'll never be able to trust news or video again.
That's right.
We already can't.
Oh, that's true. All right.
Let's dive into this thing. John, take us on a journey to Albion.
Albion. So, Mr. Maze gives us a brand new quest.
Mr. Maze!
He says,
you have a new quest card.
We have to go to the arena. Do you remember why he says we have to go to the arena?
He does not say that we have to go to the arena.
I thought he did, and that's
what does he say?
Lies.
Okay, what does he say?
He says you have to meet an archaeologist.
Yeah, but I thought it was to go to the Witchwood to like, he does state that the ultimate goal is to get to the arena, but you have to meet an archaeologist along the way.
Does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, he sends you to find an archaeologist. That we can agree on.
I think it's to meet, like, he's talking about meeting Lady Bowerstone, and this is the only way to do it. I think that's the ultimate goal.
Oh, like she'll pay attention to an arena champion?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do I care about meeting Lady Bowerstone?
Because you're going to marry her.
No, I'm not.
Well, I did.
She seems so evil.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I mean, at this point, my dude had horns, so...
Tell me about this archaeologist.
Well, he says...
Tell me about this stupid area. It's all rainy.
Yeah.
Where are
and there's
we?
lightning.
John, paint a word picture.
It's
what
like...
What is this?
If Albion is Europe, Witchwood is England. It's like an island off the coast of Albion.
You have to teleport there.
Yeah.
You can't just walk there.
So Maze unlocks a Cullis gate for you to travel through. and you teleport there, and there's thunder and lightning and many bandits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's raining. This game looks really good for a 360 game, except for the character models.
Yeah, it is. It's a good looking game at times. The effects look good, like the lighting and stuff on the weapons and the attacks all look really good.
At least,
and the lightning looks
Fable
good.
Anniversary. I don't know what Fable regular looks like these days.
Garbage.
I kind of want to go back and see it, but especially like I think it's one of those games that you can play in 4K if you get an Xbox One X, and I just want to see what that looks like. I bet it looks crazy.
Oh my god.
Anyway. So I am playing, the Witchwood, and I'm walking, and I get assaulted by bandits.
On sunshine.
And then there's, like, the quest tells you to, like, go behind this demon door, and the demon's door won't open for you. It says, no, I won't open for you until you, tell me my name, and then I'll open.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have to go, like, bang on some rocks.
yeah, there's these special glyph rocks. And like, I was like, okay, what are the options for the name? And he's like, well, the only person who knows it is at the Temple of Avo. He's not going to tell you. So I went to the rocks, and the name, the letters are SHIT. And that honestly made me chuckle. So, of course, I guessed SHIT as his name.
What?
For funsies.
Yeah. Now, don't say the word, because we don't want... This is a rated G
this
podcast.
Is a family-friendly podcast where we talk about dragon dildos and butts.
All the things kids love.
Oh, gross.
Kids do love butts, though. They're always talking about their butt and their fart and their poop.
They don't love dragon dildos, though.
No, they don't. They probably like dragons.
You don't know.
I hope not.
Anyway, so what happened when you spelled out shit? Because I didn't bother to check first. I just I knew I should, but I was just like, I don't care. I'm just going to go kill stuff and get the name. So what happened when you guessed wrong?
You get swarmed by balverines.
Did the door say anything about your guess?
No, I thought that would be funny, but it didn't. That's what I was expecting, but no, you just get attacked by balverines if you spell the name wrong.
I also went to look at the rocks, and in my mind, those letters spelled only one word, and that's what I spelled out, and it worked great. It didn't even occur to me that shit was an option, because I'm so pure.
Was it this?
No.
Oh.
I guess that would be another word, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that the fact that you have to hit the rocks was a pretty big clue.
Was it Sith?
Yes, it was Sith. And then George Lucas comes out and he's like, oh, let me tell you about the Sith Order.
Listen, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the Parliament of Albion, and it's going to take a little while, so have a seat. There were these men, and they like to do trading, and one person traded beans, and another person...
What happened?
Now, George Lucas, I have some amazing ideas for a Star Wars game that we could create together. Now, how about if using the Force actually implemented in the game? If you, as the player, somehow managed to manifest the Force and the game read that through this amazing camera, which I will charge $200.
Wasn't there a Star Wars MMO where it literally randomized Force powers and people were like, fuck you?
Yes, that was the Force...
the worst idea ever.
Star Wars Galaxy.
It randomized them, so like you might have lightning, you might have pushing.
No, you might have it or you might not.
Like
you might be force sensitive or not.
Chance you were force sensitive and could do the Jedi quest.
I see.
That is that's oh, you know what? It's dumb. We don't even need to fucking talk about it. It sounds like something fucking Peter Molyneux and George Lucas would come up with together.
It's
really
very
does.
realistic because not everyone can be a Jedi. But the only reason people want to play a Star Wars game is to be a Jedi.
Yeah, I'm playing video games, not living in Star Wars land. Now, George, what if the game... We're going to make this promise. What if the game gave the actual players force powers? That's Peter Molyneux at E3 2019 making a Star Wars game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It will take you, literally, in a spaceship. It will change your life forever.
So, Matt, did you find someone who will tell you the name of the door?
I did. And you don't have to, like, do anything. You have to be like, what's the name of that door? And he's like, it's Hits. That thing sucks.
Does he explain like how he knows the door?
No, maybe, I don't know. John?
So, no, he doesn't. And you go back to the door and spell out his name, and the archaeologist inside's like, oh, great, now they can find me. Which is kind of an ominous thing for someone to say. He doesn't seem super thrilled about being rescued.
He was not trapped behind this demon door. He had squirreled himself away there intentionally.
Once again, I'm not sure Maze is a good guy. That is my impression of this game. So Maze, so you get the archaeologist back, and then Maze says to continue on. You get the next quest to go to Knot Hole Glade and, stop the Balverine attack that's going on there.
And this is a lot of fun. And by a lot of fun, I mean, I had to do it several times because I kept accidentally killing people.
Oh.
Once again, don't use the left trigger around people you're supposed to save. It's kind of terrible because I was playing it again, and if you hold the right trigger, it also will target, but it also, you can't use magic because that's the magic switching trigger button. It's just bad. It's poorly designed. So you go to, Knot Hole Glade. You take a walk through some more of the Witchwood, and there's a lake and everything. And, was there anything interesting at the Temple of Avo? Did any of you take some time?
It's a temple. There's nothing there other than it's like the opposite of the Temple of Scorn, where you can pay a bunch of money and it'll give you good points.
Oh.
Because charity is the opposite of murder.
I guess so?
And there's a sword in the stone.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's a really good sword there, but you have to be good to get it, right?
No, you just have to be strong. Maybe you have to be good as well. I'm not sure. But there's a whole bunch of guys. They're trying to yoink this sword out, and you try, and they kind of give you hints about what you need to improve. They're like, oh, you have to be pretty, hardy or very healthy or pretty tough to get this sword out. So I think you have to max out 3 of your stats in order to get it out.
The 3 physical stats, I'm guessing.
Those are the only 3 physical stats. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not quite there. I'm up to the physique. I'm up to 6 for all the physical ones, so not quite enough.
So after the Temple of Avo, you go past Witchwood Lake on your way to Knot Hole Glade.
Yeah.
And at Witchwood Lake, there is a traveling merchant tattoo artist. And you can get all tatted up.
And at Knot Hole Glade, there's a tattoo artist as well.
Yeah, but he was never around for me for some reason. And when he saw me, he went running because they were all scared of me at this point.
Yeah, I got some tats.
But it was easy to chase down the merchant. And the merchant, I think, had more stuff because I got head to toe tatted out here.
I got some, all the positive tats that made me more attractive and good. So I got all those.
I did that at first. I made myself really attractive because I was still planning on getting married. But once I got married, I went back and I got all of the tattoos that had the evil alignment.
Just like real life.
Made me scary. Yeah, all these tattoos on my face.
Can you take off a tattoo once you put it on?
Yes.
What?
Yep, you can get tattoo removal. There's magic and stuff in this game, so I just assume that they shoot magic at your face.
All the tattoos are like henna. It doesn't last. 2 weeks. Anyway, so I thought that was cool. Finally got a tattoo artist. But John, you get to Knot Hole Glade, and there's a little quest here at the beginning.
Now, the first thing before that, I just want to talk about eating a lot in this game. Because
yum, yum, yum.
You can buy 50 pies and then assign it to a button on your D-pad and then just slam on it until your character gets fat. And you know, there's the achievement for seeing all the areas in Albion.
Uh-huh.
You get that achievement if you get fat because the achievement text says explore every area of Albion or become the size of Albion. So I went for that option.
That's funny. Did you ever go open that demon door that wanted you to be corpulent?
No, I have to go back and do that.
Porcine?
But you get as you do fighting, you lose weight. So you have to keep eating to maintain your weight because you're always physically
just
active.
Just like real
in this
life.
Game. Yeah. Now, back to the Knot Hole Glade. Yeah. So
let me ask a question though about this eating.
Sure.
Do you, does your sprite change? Does he get beefy?
He gets a little thicker in the midsection. Like you'll see your stomach expand, but it's never super chubby. I think Fable 2 was the one where you get fattest, but I'd have to go back and play that again, which I don't want to do because I know we'll play it for this podcast eventually. So I'm just holding off.
Eventually.
Yep. So back to the game. Knothole Glade. You get there and there are townspeople hammering at the door. They are being attacked by Balverines and you can save them. Or you can fry them because you're holding down left trigger. And if you hold down left trigger, they all die.
Yeah, I reloaded it a couple of times because it was annoying me that I was killing these people.
Yeah, it's not a...
Because at this point, I've got force push and I've got it way up. So like a force push bubble the size of a house bursts from around me. But that will kill civilians.
I got time slow, and that's a pretty useful spell. And also within that, you can use other spells. So like after you've slowed down time, you can like use your speed up attack spell, which makes you pretty unstoppable.
That sounds good.
It's a good spammy combo. So I had that and I'm whacking these Balverines and they're annoying because as soon as they die, like they howl and summon more. But eventually I save these villagers and they open up the gates and the hottest chief of a village ever comes out and he's like, well, thank you very much. And
somehow I knew you were going to like this guy.
Yeah. And he's coded gay in the game, which is interesting, but you can't marry him.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, coded gay, like not just gay coding in terms of, there's, visual coding, like someone's coded gay if they are effeminate, but I mean coded gay like they programmed him to have gay reactions to things. Like if you flirt with him, he does the like he holds his hand to his chest and like shakes his shoulders.
Oh, really?
And he's just this big, super muscular, tattooed, facial hairy guy.
And he's not wearing a shirt.
Yep.
And he's got a big belly.
Yes. Not everyone in Albion is gay or bisexual, but it's kind of fun to see who is, because sometimes a man will just start to fall for you.
Now, there is one reaction that if you do flirt with straight men, that is like, oh yeah, this is something people told me in real life in the 90s. Like when you flirt with straight men in this game, they say sometimes you'll get yourself killed. Like, oh yeah, this reminds me of real life from the 1990s. I don't like that.
Yikes.
Yeah. Which is not the greatest reaction, but I guess it's, it's part of the fiction of Albion that some people are still super homophobic in this fantasy land.
Yeah. Even though it seems like gay marriage is like the law of the land and all.
Yes, I did get gay married.
Nice.
Straight. No, I didn't get straight married. I gave a ring to a lady, but she wants a house. So, yeah, we'll get into that after.
I married into a relationship where the woman already had a house.
The lady wants a house, but the man is fine without one?
No, he wanted a house too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. That part's pretty good. Anyway, so I was like giving tons of gifts and stuff to the chief, but he never let me romance him. I think characters with like bespoke dialogue you can never romance.
Yeah. Which is irritating because they're the only ones who have like names and personalities who you would be interested in. Well, everyone has names. That's true.
Yeah.
Wait, do they?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Yeah.
No.
I think everyone in a town has name. Yeah.
What?
Pretty sure. It like shows up above, almost like it'll say like whatever barkeep, and like it'll put the name. Oh, maybe not some of the like random villagers.
Yeah, I think that the shopkeepers and the barmaids do, but not everyone.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. The guy that I married didn't have a name.
Weird. All right, so let's keep moving along here. The chief is a big hot bear, and John loves him.
Mrs. Pie Master.
Yeah, I wish. But there is, there's another Balverine attack, and this white Balverine that the chief was telling you about is like obsessed with the village and keeps attacking it. And you drive it away by hitting it 10 times, but you aren't really hurting it. And he's like, well, go talk to this lady. She's the wife of a hunter who's the only one who managed to keep a keep a control of these balverines. And she's like,
how was hitting this thing 10 times? Was that difficult for anybody? Because I just cheesed it with the battle rush.
Yeah, it was,
No, it was
bang,
fine.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, it was fine.
Balverines do jump out of screen and like hang out in the trees, I guess,
Yeah.
for a while, and then jump back down on you.
Yep.
But they're still pretty easy to hit.
Yeah. Now, you go talk to the wife and she's like, yeah, he disappeared fighting balverines and who knows what happens to him. I certainly don't know. Wink.
Nobody knows.
And then you get attacked again and by the white balverine. And then she's like, oh, actually.
And it's going for her at this point,
Yeah.
right?
It's trying to see her. And she's like,
Trying to kill her.
is it?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, she's like, oh, actually, okay, technically, that is my husband, and he got turned into a balverine, and you'll need silver to kill it. So here's
So he was
silver.
the great hunter that slayed the original white balverine and is a legend in the village, but it turns out in the last battle he got chewed up on by a Balvaface.
And now he's a Balvaface too.
And now he's like, grr, bub, I'm a white Wolverine.
So you go follow the balverine back to its lair, which is just in the middle of the lake, and you have a big epic balverine fight, but now you have a silver augment to your weapon, which makes it super powerful against white balverines.
Or just balverines in general.
I honestly, because I experimented with this, it doesn't seem to make much of a difference against regular balverines. But against white balverines, it does tons of damage.
So, you get the silver, you kill the white balverine. Where do you kill the white balverine? You have to chase him out to
Witchwood Lake.
Witchwood Lake,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there's a billion fucking balverines.
Now, after you do this fight and kill the balverine with your silver imbued weapon, which is like, it takes up an augment slot, which is a bit like Diablo, where you have slots that can add effects. We talked about that before, about like you can have fire and lightning on your weapon.
You get like a cool, shiny silver effect down your weapon.
Yeah. So you do that, you get the head of the balverine. Does that mean it's a trophy? I haven't tried it, but could you show it to the wife of the guy?
Probably.
Oh.
It's not like this game is this game isn't designed well enough to be like, okay, but everybody except for this one person. No. You could probably show Whisper's brooch to Whisper and she'd be like, yay! Remember when you kicked the shit out of me? So you kill the white balverine, and for me, it was not a hard fight, but a long fight, because I think every time you take off, let's say maybe a quarter or a third of the white balverine's health, it will call in more balverines, a handful of balverines.
But I was slowing down time and killing it so fast that it would have to do like 2 of those summons in a row. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was just keeping him on the ground, but I was using force push to ignore all the other balverines.
Right.
So once I finally killed this thing, I had like 10 fucking balverines to fight.
Did you ever use, because Inflame kind of has a force push to it too, but it also does a lot of damage. I like that spell.
I didn't use that one.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I really only focused on these two. At this point, I was only using Battle Rush and Force Push. Force Push kept everybody away from me, and then Battle Rush let me rush up on a particular one and start hacking into him.
Oh, okay.
And it worked to, like I said, it cheesed the game for a lot of bosses and stuff. Like you could just knock them over and then never let them get up.
That's great. I like that kind of stuff.
I mean, it made the arena pretty easy. We'll talk about that.
Yes.
Because now you've killed the Balverine and it's time to go to
The arena.
Mm-hmm.
The
Chief
arena.
Handsome says that he will sponsor you to join the arena.
Yay.
Yay. And so what is an arena?
Well, the arena is like the Colosseum of days of old, with bread and circuses where the citizens of Albion are entertained by watching people fight monsters. And each other.
To the death.
To the death. Now you get there with your pass. You have to go back and get it, from the guard, or from the guild, and then you show it to the guard, and he escorts you through the Hall of Heroes, and the music changes. And actually, this is a track that because I never got this far in Fable 1. I recognize it from Fable 2. It's this really cool, haunting, weird track. Like a very quiet kind of music that, maybe I'll put in right here. And
You're not editing.
oh, right. Maybe Matthew will put it in. No, he won't.
No.
It's a cool. There we go.
I can see Vanessa's bookshelf and the top of her head.
I can't see Vanessa at all.
So anyway, the guard walks you through and he talks a bit about the heroes, I think, but I don't think he says anything particularly important, right?
No, and this is like the fourth time in the game where there's actually been a story. So it's like, oh wow, there's actually a story to this game.
Well, don't you see the statue of Red Hood here?
I don't think you see any it's just pointing down at the floor. The camera's pointing down at the floor as you walk through it, so you don't really see anyone.
Well, I know after this you're going to meet the greatest hero in Albion, who is very clearly the bad guy.
Oh, yeah. So you get to the arena's, like,
Y'all,
fighter
I have
pit.
something to say. Hold
Okay.
up. This is important. My haunting song was so beautiful that my cat got up from where he was asleep and came over and started rubbing on my leg.
Aw.
Like Orpheus, I have soothed the wild beast
Aw.
with my music.
That was beautiful.
I don't think that's what happened. I think the cat was begging you to be quiet.
I have very sensitive ears.
He thought I was howling in pain or something, came to check on me.
So before the arena starts, I think there's kind of a fun little bit here where like you meet all the other heroes in the arena, all the other contestants, and then they like tell you that they're going to line you up and they'll send you in one at a time. And the first guy goes in and just bites it immediately.
Yeah.
There's a German guy who's explained to you how it all works. And
Hans.
Franz.
yeah,
Franz.
I know he has a name and I looked it up and I couldn't find it. So it's just
Yeah, it's Hans.
Yeah, let's just call him Hans. And there's another guy.
Because that's his name.
I can't remember
His name is Franz.
Do you remember
His
the
name is
guy who
Hans.
dies? Because he's like, oh, you know the rules, so you go do that first. The only basic rule he says is no fighting in the arena pit, the fighter's pit.
Uh-huh.
And there's a weird little thing that I never used where in the they explain where in the middle of the arena, once you're out there, you can elect to skip around and come back in and like heal up.
Yeah. I never did that. Because
What about you, Vanessa?
I did not do that. I wanted to play all the way through because if you stay in the fight, you get more money.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's a mechanic to this where the more well you fight, the more the crowd loves you and they throw you gifts. I never got them to throw me gifts.
Oh.
I got a flower once.
Ooh.
I had so there's a meter on the side. All right, so let's break this down. The arena is, surprise, a big old circle.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few little trappy things that'll pop out. There's like a little spiky thing that if you step on, spikes will pop out. There's a couple of whirling blade things that'll pop out if you get too close. You have to stay away from that stuff. And you get attacked by waves of types of enemies, of enemy types. There's an applause meter on the bottom right-hand side of the screen that you want to get up and keep up. I never had any sort of problem with this. It was always maxed out.
I always had it at 0.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder
That's
why they
crazy.
didn't like me. I guess I'm not very good at Fable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not good at blocking. I'm not good at building up my flourish meter or my combat multiplier or whatever it is.
I think they liked watching me use force push to knock things into the traps because that was a lot of fun.
Ah.
I don't know. I didn't have an issue with this. I mowed through everything. But I didn't really get anything out of it. I got a flower, and that's the only thing I remember picking up and being like, I wasn't even sure what the hell it was about. I was like, oh, I guess I got a flower.
Yeah, I thought there might be an achievement or something associated with it. I think what I did wrong was so you fight some wasps, and then you fight some hobs, and then you fight balverines, and then you fight undead, and then
it kind of does this thing where it's like the first, what are there, like 9 rounds?
Yeah.
But each round consists of multiple rounds, so you'll fight a few wasps.
Yeah.
And then you'll fight a few wasps with a few bigger wasps. And then you'll fight a couple of giant wasps and some wasps.
Yeah.
Or they did the same thing with all balverines. You would get a couple of balverines, a few balverines, a white balverine and some balverines, 2 white balverines.
Now, with the white balverines you fight, I accidentally, because the selling system doesn't let you know what you have equipped, and I thought I got a second great hammer, so I sold the one that I had that had silver on it, And I tried this fight, and it took me 10 minutes to kill the white ballerines because I didn't have silver. So I started over, and yeah, it's super fast if you have your silver weapon still. So that was annoying. You then
What were the other ones? There was wasps, hobs, balverines. There were undead
bandits,
and
then trolls.
Mm-hmm.
And then
trolls were annoying.
So trolls twice: a regular forest troll and rock troll.
Yeah.
And then you had the what were those things called?
No.
Arachnox.
The big monster?
Boss? The big scorpion-like boss.
Oh, that thing.
But we left out an important point, which is that after a couple of rounds, you're joined by a friend.
Whisper!
Yeah. Your best friend, Whisper, who you shared a room with all through your childhood.
Yay! I like her.
Best friend and rival.
Yes.
Yeah. But sort of a friendly rivalry.
Yeah. So you fight with her, and she throws these bombs that will hurt you and will knock you down, and she throws them all the time.
Or she never gets off her feet because you're always using force push. And you don't care if you knock her into the blades.
Yeah. You can't kill her, at least. Well, sort of. So after you...
Vanessa.
Yeah.
Did you run across anything interesting here? What did you think of the arena?
I didn't like it at all.
No. Why?
I thought it was super boring. It's just waves of enemy. It's just combat. There's no exploration. There's nothing to do except fight and fight and fight. I don't like to fight and fight and fight. I did not like the arena.
I didn't like it because there's a guy speaking over what sounds like a loudspeaker, and it's like a fantasy world with no electricity. And it doesn't really...
They have magic.
I guess. So why does it sound...
There's a dude that's able to...
Yeah, but why does it sound like an electric loudspeaker then?
I don't know, but I saw the same thing in Harry Potter.
I also hate the trope in Star Wars, pod racing, and this, and everything and Final Fantasy X, that there's always like an American 20th century sounding announcer for everything.
Welcome
to
the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, give up your round of applause. Let's get ready to rumble.
Exactly. Like, it's just a lazy, crappy trope that it isn't funny, but people treat it like it's a joke, and then they put it into a Star Wars movie. And I get very annoyed.
That's what I call pod racing.
Exactly. It wasn't, one of those was that guy who has that podcast, and he thinks he's the smartest man in the world. Greg Proops.
Oh.
He was one of the pod racer dudes.
Isn't he Canadian?
Is he? Maybe. I hope not.
Sounds Canadian.
Colin is Canadian.
Colin is Canadian, and Ryan Stiles is Canadian. Oh, no, he's from Washington, isn't he?
He's from Washington, but I think he came up in Vancouver with that improv troupe, what is on that little island.
Granville Island, yeah. He's part of that.
That's the one.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the game. So you killed this boss. Okay, this boss has an attack where it glows green and then I guess puts its tail into the ground, which doesn't seem to do anything, but does make it vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
I don't know. It was too big and the arena's too small, and it's not a hard fight, but it's an annoying fight.
Yeah. Basically, you just have to keep away from it until it does the tail into the ground thing, and then you can wail on it for a while, especially if you slow down time. Oh, and I tried to get the Don't Feed the Trolls achievement, and that's, I think, why the crowd stopped liking me, because I took too long to defeat those things. I even hit 2 of the rocks back by slowing down time, and I still didn't get that achievement, so...
that sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't get it in the arena.
Maybe.
Or maybe you already had gotten it and you forgot.
No, I'd never hit before because I have terrible timing. But anyway.
So, you defeat the Arachnox, this giant scorpion monster, and with Whisper's help, and then you're given a final option by Jack of Blades.
Who is this?
This is where Jack of Blades shows up.
Yeah, he's got like this monster claw hand and a mask, and his face looks all messed up.
And his voice sounds like evil.
Yep.
Like, this guy's supposed to be the greatest hero in Albion, right?
Yep.
And people keep saying that he's back. He was gone somewhere, and people are excited for his return.
I don't understand.
I
but
don't know.
He's clearly evil.
We've talked before about
wait.
the Heroes Guild and how they don't really seem to care about morality in the jobs that they take on or assign.
Yeah.
We've also talked before about how the populace doesn't seem to understand when someone is plainly evil and will just let them run
Yep.
roughshod all over.
Even if they have
So-
literal horns.
Or they're the president of the United States. So,
Too
Jack of Blades
soon.
finally shows up. No, it's not. Jack of Blades finally shows up and is very clearly evil. And he tells you that, what does he offer you? Does he double your money?
He's going to give you a special prize.
Yeah.
No. He'll give you a special prize if you can finish one more challenge. And that is a fight to the death with Whisper.
Oh, no.
And she's like, all right, we're not going to actually kill each other. We'll fight, but we'll stop before we actually kill each other, right? And you never agree or disagree to it, but she acts like you did.
Yeah, she just says, I can't kill you. You're my brother. You're my best friend.
Oh.
Let's show of hands.
Mm-hmm.
You fight Whisper, you beat her, and then you're given the option to kill her or not.
I'm not killing her. I like Whisper.
Of course I didn't kill Whisper.
Y'all, this was legit the hardest decision I had to make in this game.
Why?
She's the only character that actually seems to have a character.
Mm-hmm.
She's the only person, I didn't actually wasn't particularly fond of her, but I felt like I had a relationship with her.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to feel really bad when I killed her ass.
Oh. I just walked away.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Choppy Town on her head, and she is a dead person now.
Oh.
No.
And Thunder was not a happy Thunder.
Yeah, the next
Oh.
cutscene is Thunder and you meet Lady Bowerstone. And
Lady Gray.
sure. You meet Lady
Lady Gray is the mayor of Bowerstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, you can come up to my house. And Thunder's like, and see, I didn't even kill his sister, and Thunder's still a jerk to me. I was
Yeah,
like,
really?
same.
yeah. He's like, oh, you dumb person. I don't like you.
Yeah, you suck.
Yeah.
And
He's working for Lady Gray now. For me, it was definitely him swearing vengeance and me being like, did you see what I just did? Did you see what I just did?
And Lady Gray's real dismissive of Thunder. She's like, you were a hero, but now you're not. This is the new hero. You have to let it happen.
Yeah, I sort of got the impression that maybe they were in a relationship, and Lady Grey was like, I'm with this guy now, so...
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since I'm the only one that's going to do this, I can talk about that
Next time.
after we do
Yeah,
this.
no, next time, because I want to try pursuing it and see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get an invitation to, is it Northern Bowerstone?
Yes.
Eastern Bowerstone?
North.
Wherever they live.
Bowerstone North. Where they live. So you get a pass so you can now go up there and hang out with Lady Grey. And you're walking back through the Hall of Heroes with the haunting music. And as you you suddenly turn and look at one of the statues, and the hero collapses on his knees because this is the Scarlet Cape. And it's this,
I thought it was the Red Hood.
I thought it was Scarlet something for sure.
It's
Scarlet
Jason
Hood.
Todd.
What? I thought it was the
Jason Todd,
maybe
the
it
Red
was
Robin.
Scarlet Hood. But yeah, you get onto your knees because it is your mother.
Yeah.
She was a hero.
And your Jack of Blades comes up and says, well, at least for me, he probably says something different to you and says, oh, she was soft-hearted just like you. Because I guess I didn't kill Whisper. And he explains that she didn't die and has instead gone to seclusion because she didn't get there in time to rescue her family.
It is Scarlet Robe.
Oh, we were all wrong.
Yes.
And he talks about how she used to, be a sort of plunderer type.
Mm-hmm.
And then she got hurt, and a kindly farm man came and tended her back to health. And then she was like, I love you. I'm giving up my career to have babies with you.
No, that's the mom from Grandia.
No, that's the mom from this.
But it's also the mom from Grandia, remember?
Whoa.
What? I do remember that.
Mom's is the same wherever you go.
I don't understand this, though, because they said the sister and the mother got kidnapped and taken away and tortured and yada yada. At no point did they ever say that the mom wasn't there. So now she's living in seclusion because she wasn't there to save them? That's not what happened. She got kidnapped.
I guess there's literally an unreliable narrator to this game.
Oh.
Can't trust anything it says.
Nope.
Well, but the sister tells you that she and the mom were kidnapped and then they took off with the mom and left her to die.
Yeah.
That's true.
Look, she's just feeling really guilty. Or is she?
I don't know. She seems to be.
I don't know. Are we going to trust the words of the dude who talks like this and whose eyes glow red?
He does seem kind of bad. You're right.
Mm-hmm. And he wears a mask all the time.
So you do get a cool flashback to her being this kick-ass lady, killing monsters and being a superhero. And I like that because other than the sister and the mom, this game hates women almost as bad as the Bard's Tale. And that's something I want to get into after this. But it likes her and she is treated like an equal to the other heroes in the game and like is basically a superhero. I think that's cool. And she's a cool character.
And that's it. So, Jonathan?
Not my name.
Jonathan?
Nope.
Your mom's alive.
Uh-huh.
Where are we playing to next time?
So the next time we will play until you rescue the Scarlet Robe.
Mommy!
And, before we finish, I want to talk about, I got a few more books, to give to the school, which is always
nice.
Fun. There was the sock method. Did you get that one?
Yes.
Which isn't what you think it is. The sock method is a manner of making yourself appear more virile and attractive. It is not an implement for masturbation. And it is suggesting you stuff a sock into your shorts. And this demonstration ends with the hero humping the air in front of the children. Mm-hmm. Which is very creepy.
Yeah. I like how the teacher, every time you give him one of these questionable books, he's like, I'm not sure, but okay.
I trust you, hero.
He's like, I've got to teach something.
Love it.
Yeah.
The other one was, what was it? The love story?
I don't know if I did that one.
Where it's about this guy who became a hero and became scarred and unattractive, but then married a woman after giving her lots of gifts, and she was only interested in his money. So he beheaded her and used her head as a trophy. That is literally the punchline to every story in this game, that women be greedy sluts. Mm-hmm. That is. Like, this game hates women almost as much as the Bard's Tale, like I said before. It is...
Yeah.
Did any women work on this game and say, like, hey, these stories are kind of awful?
Hey. Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Go back to before you said, hey, these stories... No. The answer is no.
No, I mean, they are very, all the, jokes and stuff, if you read like long form joke books from the 60s, they all had jokes like this. Everything was about women like wanting to shop or, oh God, there's another quest line I want to talk about that I played through, in this chunker. Did any of you do the Ghost Pirate quest?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and that leads to a mini game that we can talk about too. Mm-hmm. So the Ghost Pirate is this guy who's blocking the beach where this guy wants to set up his chicken kicking contest. But he can't because there's a ghost pirate on the beach, and you talk to the ghost pirate and he's like, hey, could you dig up some gold that I buried and give it to my wife?
Can we just call this weird? Hey guys, we slipped into John's bullshit minigame.
No,
corner.
this is like a side quest.
John's side quest bullshit corner.
And it leads into
John's
what I was
bullshit
talking
side quest
about.
corner.
It's
about
not bullshit.
How the game hates women. Because, so this ghost pirate's like, hey, I never told my wife I'm actually a pirate. Could you get up the last of my treasure and then tell my wife I love her?
Yeah, and she's been standing on the beach weeping over his death.
Yeah.
And waiting for him to come home.
Yeah. So you go to the beach. He says it's to the left of the pier. Now that's not what's the ordinal direction? Or it's an ordinal, not a cardinal direction. So it took me about 20 minutes until I looked up a picture of where to dig because it was super annoying. And I gave the treasure to the wife and she's like, oh, so you mean he died at sea? And then you're nice and you tell her that he was a tour guide. And she's like, oh, it looked like he was giving tours to bandits. Isn't that silly? And, then she's like, I'm going to always honor his memory forever. As soon as I go after I go shopping. And that's the punchline because women are greedy sluts, according to this game. And, yeah, like.
And that leads you to the minigame.
And that leads you to the chicken kicking minigame. Yay!
John's bullshit minigame corner.
Well, digging in and of itself is sort of a mini game.
Yeah.
Much like fishing, there are places in the world you can dig.
It does.
Graves especially.
It sometimes it's like, well, you know, like how the auto suggestion D-pad thing sometimes works and sometimes suggests things you can do and sometimes doesn't. Sometimes it'll flash with the shovel icon and that seems to be the good time to shovel. Fable 2 has a better way of solving how to do this, where you have a dog that like barks when there's something to dig up.
Yeah.
So it's not a great mini game, but you can dig up stuff, usually around graves. And he also says that he has more treasure over by the statue with a guy with an axe, and you get an axe and you get some. What was the other thing you get?
I think you got a silver key.
Right, yeah, silver key.
And that opens up the chicken kicking contest.
Yay.
Chicken kicking.
Stupid.
So it's sort of like, I don't know, darts or something, kind of. You can kick a chicken and there's in the
It's like skee ball.
I never got the hundreds. I kept trying, but I still got the grand prize, which I think is the silver key. But yeah, you kick a chicken and you can run up to get a bit more force, and you have to try and aim for these tricky 100-point areas. But I never hit one.
Don't kick a chicken.
Yeah, it was dumb.
It's kind of cute. I didn't mind this.
Don't kick a chicken.
Okay, I won't.
Guys, are we ready to talk about what we're squarely against?
Yeah.
Let's do it. John.
Squarely against. I am squarely against the way that every story about women in this game has them being greedy sluts.
Yay.
I think it's fairly obvious that this game hates women. And Vanessa.
I'm squarely against chicken kicking. Don't kick a chicken. Matt, what are you squarely against?
You know what? I'm going to be roundly for killing Whisper.
Oh.
Not because I love killing people. I do. But because, as I said, it actually gave me pause. The game made me, put me in a moral quandary that I had to grapple with, which I otherwise did not experience in this game in any way, shape, or form.
What was the special prize?
I don't fucking remember.
Jeez.
Did you do it for the prize or for the sort of purity of your evilness?
Yeah, the latter. I did sit there and say to myself, I did not want to kill Whisper, but I said to myself, but that's not, you're playing an evil dude with giant horns and glowing red eyes, like what, or I didn't have glowing red eyes yet, but after I killed her, my eyes were glowing red.
And, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
And it was very much like, what would he do? What would my character do? Like, this is a guy that's killed random strangers and sacrificed people to a demon. And, I just couldn't say like, but no, he wouldn't kill Whispers. No, he definitely would kill Whisper. So
I have something to say.
I roleplayed. I've got something to say.
I have something to say about the way your character changes based on morality.
About the way your character changes today.
Because I am playing a good character, and as my character becomes better morale-wise, he gets...
I'm playing a good character, and as it becomes better morale-wise...
His brown eyes turn into blue eyes.
Oh.
And his brown hair turns into blonde hair.
Oh.
And that's not great. Like...
Yeah. When you be evil, you start losing your hair.
Well, just like, the ethnic implications alone of who is good and who is not. Like, not cool. Bad job, game. It's not good. He also gets a halo and little butterflies fluttering around him. Just do the halo and the butterflies. Don't turn his brown eyes into blue eyes and being like, that's how you can tell that he's pure or good. Don't do that. That's bad. That's bad.
Worth noting at this point that for me, being super evil and having horns and red eyes and bugs flying around me, the game gets really fucking annoying because you can't go into a town anymore and do business. I said earlier, in Knot Hill Glade, you have to corner shopkeepers to get them to talk to you. So, and then once you can get them to talk to you, it's just normal. They just sell you stuff, but they run off when they see you, and it's obnoxious. Like, I'm playing a game here, guys. I still need to be able to do business. I get you want me to be like super scary, but are you fucking kidding me?
You did take a bunch of people and sacrifice them in a temple, so maybe word got out.
Well, maybe it did, but from a gameplay perspective, it's trash.
Yeah. When I go into a town, everyone stands and applauds. They're like, hooray!
When I go to a town, people literally scream, drop whatever they're carrying, and run.
In the game or in real life?
Both.
That's what I thought.
All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
Not today. All
right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can send us an email if you would like to do that. We are at squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you're not interested in emailing because it's too much like mailing and you're too modern and cool, you can tweet at us at Square Roots Pod or join our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Our intro music for the series is the One Nils cover of the Oakvale theme, and our outro is Metal Lewis's cover of the Fable Anniversary theme. Check out the One Nils and Metal Lewis on Patreon and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. John.
Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you screenshot your review and post on the Facebook group or Twitter, I'll tell you how you leveled up.
We actually have gotten some emails, but I don't feel like dealing with that right now. So
yeah.
Before we go, we do, however, want to give a big shout out to all of our patrons.
Yay!
And Jonathan, why don't you do that?
I'd like to thank Sam Harrison, Devin Sloan, Cody Schwerin, James Plett, Greg Bailey, Reyes Jenkins, Joseph A. Rogers, Rob Schubert, Stu Skeel, Xavier Krieger, David Shook, Matthew Jorgensen, Vanessa's mom, Kiva Mosser, Samuel Mitchell, Andrew Wyant, Brian Stone, Aaron Bachman, Robert M. Pullum, Stan, Tracy Tanoff, Josh Anderson, Robert T., Ross Hartley, Tyler Petty, Brody Toy, Justin Ham, Bree Girth, Meredith Anderson, Brian Pitt, Ward Childress, Patrick Coover, Wonder Swan, Miguel Torres, Rusty Kamada, Tom, Lynn Setchel, Justin Benoit, Cameron Show, and Cyril the Wolf.
And I'll just say, we do have a couple new patrons that we need to add to the list, and we also have received a couple of letters, but we have run a little long on time this time, so we will talk about that on the next episode. And before we go, one more time, John, where are we playing to?
We are playing until you rescue the Scarlet Robe.
All right, that's it, guys. For the Square Roots Podcast, I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I am John Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Bye.
Bye.
Holy crap, I just had the greatest idea for a Matthew YouTube channel. You want to hear about it, Matthew?
Sure.
It's called The Matthew Show. And you know, in math equations, you have to show your work sometimes. Like, and it's you explaining how long division works and stuff, and helping like grade 8 kids where you have to show your work with algebra and quadratic equations and trigonometry. So it's The Matthew Show. Get it? Huh? Get it? Matthew Show, like The Matthew Show, as if that's what it was called, but it's MATH space YOU space SHOW.
I'm just thinking of all the cricket sounds I'm going to put in. Also, I couldn't do that. I can't do long division to save my fucking life.
Really?
It's been too long, man.
And like new math is all about making long division easier, right?
I don't know, man. Common Core, you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
I don't understand it. I'm one of those parents that's like, don't fucking change the way it works. I don't understand this.
Like, I think, isn't it basically like when you did long division, it was using remainders and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's a different way of handling
basically
remainders.
What they're doing now is like they're starting the basics of algebra in like first grade.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. They start it real with addition. You start learning like the basics of algebra. It's supposed to be really great, but like I don't algebra, so it makes it really hard to help my kids with their math homework.
Yeah, I could see that being a problem because
it's a huge fucking problem, and nothing makes me more angry than Common Core defenders online who tell me that I should like just get over it. Like, no, motherfucker, you just get over it. I need to teach my kids shit.
Yeah. I can see that being a problem.
I had a hard enough time learning it the first time around.
Right.
I'm going to go learn it again?
What are you going to learn?
Math. All right. We're already pushing length on this. Let's get through the rest of this shit.